Welcome back to the battlefield. In today's episode of the Scotland campaign, we are in a bit of a tricky situation. We've got a lot of forces from the Arverni floating around in this area. Now, if we look at their armies, two of their armies are basically a bunch of levy troops, just spearmen and clubmen. But these two armies are actual proper military forces with really some very strong units. So I think we would struggle in a one-on-one. It would be a difficult fight to beat one of these armies. But if they outnumber us, even if it's just one of these kind of trash levy armies, I think we would probably lose. So, what I want to do right now is kind of bunker down a little bit, get some replenishment, especially for this army, make sure they're back up to maximum health as soon as possible. It's going to take several turns because even though we occupied this place, it has the Britannic culture instead, it has the Celtic culture instead of Britannic, so the population didn't transfer over just because they're barbarian. So, to help out, we're trying to recruit a bunch more of our native Britannic units back over on mainland England. And we'll be getting them across the channel as soon as possible. But until we have those reinforcements, we're in kind of a tricky situation. We are still at war with the Iceni as well. But I don't think they are feeling very aggressive. They've kind of been posturing on this beachfront for the last several turns, so I'm hoping they're not going to do anything. Now, right off the bat, I would like to get peace with the Arverni. Not having to deal with them, that's the wrong faction. Not having to deal with the Arverni would make life a lot easier right now. But I don't think it's going to happen, even if we throw some money at them, because we just don't have enough money right now. Alright, well, he will listen before he turns me inside out. That's not good. Okay, is there any chance the Irish are interested in maybe joining a war? These guys are weak. Would you guys join against them? Alright, right now I don't want to spend the money on it because I need the money for recruiting next turn. And speaking of recruiting, I'm going to need a lot of money, so where else can I get some money? It's possible that I could try and improve her cunning and get her to embezzle some funds, but our loyalty isn't exactly looking great right now. What would happen if I boosted my tax rate? They've updated DEI so that boosting your tax rate causes massive loyalty problems a lot of the time. Yeah, see, here we're only taking -5 from provincial initiatives though, so it's possible that we could boost our tax rate all the way up. How much extra does that actually give us? 2 grand. It's definitely worth it right now. I don't think it causes enough of a loyalty problem for us to actually have a rebellion, but we need the money to bring troops across the channel. We've got to have something that can take on these heavier armies from the Arverni. Now, we're also going to have a rebellion over here, so I need to be cognizant of that. It looks like these guys need to just stay fortified. It looks like the Arverni... So the Arverni can't make it through to our city unless they attack this army. I'm very confident this army could beat the Arverni, just because that's a levy army. Although it is possible they could maybe be in range to attack with both of their levy armies. Anyway, what else needs to be done on this turn? I think this turn is mostly finished already. And I should have checked this while I was here, but does anyone need to get married? No. Okay, let's go to the next turn. I want to drop my taxes back down as soon as possible, but it's not an option yet. because for the most part, recruiting units is very, very expensive in this mod. I haven't played Vanilla Rome 2 for like 1,000 hours of playing this game, but I seem to recall recruitment wasn't nearly as expensive as it is in this mod. Alright, well, there's our rebellion. The Iceni moved an army, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're headed this direction again. These guys want peace. I wouldn't mind peace, but it's not a priority right now, because I do need that territory in the near future. I'm really hoping the garrison here is strong enough to keep this rebellion from taking the city out from behind me. Alright, it looks like we're safe there. Every now and then that can happen and really cause you some problems. Alright, so the garrison here is not quite at full strength, and it's not a particularly strong garrison anyway. But it was enough to prevent this rebellion from attacking. Now I'm just going to immediately get rid of it. If we're going to bunker down, it's best to not have any growing enemy forces over here if we can avoid it. Now it looks like we're scheduled to have another. We're going to have another rebellion next turn. It might even be a good idea to just have this army start to fall back to this port, because we really need to make sure we hold this city. But I think I'm going to risk it a little bit and try and hold on to Nemnitum while this army replenishes. It's going to take several turns, but I think we should have enough time. Especially because the Arverni armies have such terrible movement range. Alright, now let's go wander over here and see what we can see. Alright, so one of their armies appears to be falling back, which is a good sign. These guys aren't being very aggressive. These two armies are acting a little bit aggressive, but at least one of them is a levy army, so it's not as concerning. Let's go ahead and go back in the city. We don't need to worry about public order because we're going to have a rebellion anyway, so we may as well just accept it. The other nice thing is when you're garrisoned, you get increased replenishment, and your unit upkeep is decreased a little bit as well. Alright, now it probably would be a good idea to pick up one of these defensive skills for the army. Yeah, let's go ahead and give this army some defenses. These guys over here don't need any kind of change. Alright, things look good there. How are we doing for population? We don't have a ton of our higher class, our first and second class population there, but I suspect we probably have more. Yeah, we have more here than we do over here, so I might need to stay on the border in order to recruit. Noble swordsman. What units should I recruit? I'm not overly concerned about getting archers or slingers at the moment. They can do a lot of damage, but it's just not enough for what I want right now. Maybe just some light spearmen would be a good idea to help out with dealing with their cavalry, but I don't think the Arverni even have that much cavalry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units of cavalry. But that's across 4 armies, so yeah, I'm not really too worried about the cavalry threat. We've got enough spears to hold down the flanks. We just need something that can survive against their swordsmen, basically. And I would like to get a bunch of these Britannic Swordmasters, but right now I don't know if that's the right call. Why not? We'll pick up one of them. And then we'll get a couple of these guys. That'll be all of our population. I'm actually going to get right up to the border here. You never know, that little extra bit of movement might actually make a difference. It might not make any difference at all, but you never know. Alright, and then, let's see, I think I'll just pick up some of these guys, I guess. They're not particularly good, but it's extra numbers that we can use to support our front lines. Alright, as far as taxes go, we need to get our public order back into the positive in this province so that we can get our maximum bonuses with this effect here. Once you get over 75 public order in the positive is when you get your maximum bonuses there. And we could really, really use it right now. We need the extra tax rate. As you can tell, our income is struggling to support this many units, and you know what? It's actually not going to support this many units, so we have to keep our taxes higher. Let's just double check and make sure the risk of rebellion isn't too great. Looks like we're all right there. It might not be a bad idea to send one of these people off on a mission. Alright, well, it looks like it's you. Go ahead and do some public order work in Britannia in an effort to boost the public order there as much as possible. Alright, that should be all for this turn. I'm not going to spend the time building anything else in either of these provinces right now, or in either of these settlements in this province right now, because we just need to save the money for military spending. Alright, the rebellion has popped up. Again, it's nothing to worry about, but we do need to eliminate it quickly so that the rebellion doesn't grow large. The main problem with rebellions is if you let them get big and you don't have armies in the area. Because once they're big, they're usually strong enough to take settlements, and that, obviously, is an issue, because it can create a new faction that you have to fight. Rebellion, yep, high chance of secession or civil war, okay, that's what we expected. 15%, I don't really think it's that high of a chance, so I'm willing to take that risk. Let's send this spy back over here. I need to get vision on these Arverni armies again. Over here. Let's go ahead and... Let's pick up another unit of spears. And then maybe a baggage train. Just in case, with all of the armies that are going to be in this area, just in case we can't actually support them with enough food. Right, now let's go ahead and get rid of the rebellion. Just obviously auto-resolve that. Release the prisoners. And then pop back into the settlement for, hopefully, a little bit of additional replenishment. Now, I need my spy to get up here and check out what the British are doing. You know what? Oh, never mind. I thought I had an agent in this army, but I don't. It's over here. It might even be worth sending my War Maiden out kind of as a spy, because I need intelligence in these areas so I don't send my armies into a situation they can't get out of. I can't afford to lose an entire army right now. Alrighty, that's probably going to be it for this turn. let's go ahead and end it and move on to the next. Now the other thing we need to be on the lookout for is this faction here will have, or they will be recruiting another army. So between the 4 Arverni armies, the 2, probably 2.5 Iceni armies, and then 1 army from this tribe, we should have quite a bit to go up against. Alright, now this is good. This is an opportunity to wipe out an Arverni army pretty much for free. The only thing is we have to get line of sight on them, because I really don't want to do an ambush right now. Or I don't want to get ambushed. So I'm gonna, let's see, I don't remember what I was working on. I think civil development, maybe? Well, I guessed wrong. That's too bad. Now, I could pull the Shield Maiden out and have her go looking for this army, but I think I'm gonna try and discover it with the spy first. No? I really can't find that army? That's kind of disappointing. Alright, well, let's send the spy, or the Shield Maiden out. I am impressed at how well they are hiding. Alright, well, in the meantime, let's just go ahead and hang out here. And wait for reinforcements to arrive. Keep dealing with these rebellions as they pop up. It's not really costing us much population in our army, so we're able to quickly heal from it. Of course, I say that, but now I look at my general and realize that he's actually taken quite a bit of damage over the last couple of turns.
What would you have of me?
Alright, now this army is ready to go. Let's just pop them out into... Come on, where is it? Oh, it's always annoying when the cities do this. Pop them out into the port so that next turn they can hopefully get across quickly. I think this army will probably be strong enough that fleet won't attack us, same as last time. Let's go ahead and bring these guys down into London just to have some extra force there in case the Iceni attack. And then over here, alright, so I do have 12 grand in the bank now. Let's go ahead and start doing a little bit of expansion up here, because it's not too expensive, and then let's also start thinking about lowering the taxes. If I reduce taxes, how much are we going to lose? Okay, so we're actually still in the positive at this tax rate, so let's go ahead and drop taxes down to there for now. Oh yeah, public order's bad because our army is garrisoned over there. Alrighty, that should be all for this turn. We really need to discover this ambushing army. What I might do is when I bring this secondary army over from England, I might have them go looking for the ambushers. Alright, well, we've discovered them because they've switched to raiding. That is perfectly fine. That'll give us an opportunity to wipe them out pretty easily. Alright, the Iceni have moved into our territory and then promptly gone into ambush stance, so we'll just wait them out. We won't go hunting after them. Well, we probably won't. I might send my spy over here and see if it's safe enough for us to try that. Let's go ahead and refuse just to try and get the extra loyalty. Over here, we've discovered the army. So let's have the spy wander this direction. Alright, so we've got a levy army, and then these guys are recruiting again. One of the problems with wiping out their first army is now they're recruiting much better units. So I want to get across and wipe them out as soon as possible. Let's go ahead and give the order for our reinforcements to arrive. Send this army down here to chase off the rebellion. General's basically back up to full health now, which is a good sign. Alrighty, now I'm going to move up to here. You know what, I might move here and see if I can ambush.
I would walk to the other world for my tribe.
Let's see if we can bait this army from the Iceni into an attack. Now over here, this is going to be our battle for the episode. We're going to bring down this army of levies from the Arverni. It should be a matchup that is massively in our favor, as we have a lot of heavy or medium infantry and they have almost exclusively light infantry. But let's jump in and see how our boys do. They do outnumber us by 1,200. And numbers make a big difference in this mod. Especially in the auto-resolve balance of power. That's where numbers tend to make the most difference. It's actually possible in this mod to just spam out tons and tons of levy armies. And just, through sheer weight of numbers, auto-resolve your way to victory. But I don't really like playing that way. Alrighty, now, how do we want to form up? It might not be a bad idea, since we're pretty much evenly matched on cavalry. It might not be a bad idea to just match them 1-for-1 across the front line and let our units smash through. But the AI does like to keep a couple of units on the flanks in reserve. So what I think we'll do is we'll have the heavy infantry match the front line. And then we will let our spears and ambushers be our supporting infantry on the flanks. I'm actually going to tighten up our front line just a little bit. We use the general on the right flank to counter any cavalry movement they might be thinking about doing.
Anything for the gods! I have seen many of them. I have seen much blood spilled. I have seen things you cannot imagine. Obey my command, and we will win the day. Disobey, and you shall feel my blade.
This little hatchet-looking thing. Alright, so the AI have taken a defensive position, which makes sense because we attacked them. So let's just go ahead and start moving forward. Now I think I'll have my slingers focus on their bowmen, and maybe just kind of ignore the skirmisher unit, because it can do a lot of damage to me. But it'll just take too long to kill, and take too much ammo to kill.
Units have been discovered.
So I think I would rather just focus on what we can kill quickly. Alright, so let's go ahead and move the skirmishers up within range. Oh god, why does this happen? It's so annoying, man. Alright, well, let's try that again, army. I don't know why that happens so often. But it drives me crazy. Okay, now slingers, go to town. I should put you guys on guard mode as well. Why are they running forward? You're in range already.
Our hidden units have been discovered. Horsemen!
Go ahead and send the cavalry after these guys. We'll just give them the melee attack order so that they'll chase them down until they catch them. Alright, now these guys are going to come up and do a lot of damage, so I'm going to let my slingers pull back.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Okay, let's disengage from that because their heavy general cav is over here, and that's just not a good engagement for our light cav. let our front line start engaging with javelins.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
And then we'll start giving the order charge.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Battle ready! Ex-warriors! Ambuses! Spears! Noble horde! Chosen sword!
Right, the AI is behaving
One of
a
our
little bit
units has used all its
strange.
ammunition.
Warriors!
It's nothing too crazy though. That attack order didn't work correctly. Let's keep these spears in reserve, start moving the general around the flank, and our guys should be able to start carving through the enemy pretty easily. Alright, we still haven't quite caught this skirmish cav, but I'm not too worried about that. Let's have our slingers focus on the general. I don't normally try too hard to general snipe, but let's try it this time. Just send these axemen in. We want our axemen fighting as soon as possible. Keep one unit of spears in reserve. Our general is prepared on the flank. Oops. Go ahead and let you guys keep chasing. Yeah, slingers just keep firing on their general. These guys are going to take a beating from all of the javelins, but I'd rather have them take it than our axemen.
Our general is under attack.
You guys go ahead and start using your javelins. General, use your inspire ability. And then go ahead and pull out for a cycle charge.
Heavy cavalry!
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
How's our front line holding up? Our front line's doing totally fine. Nothing to worry about there, of course. General, let's actually try and keep you away from that. I don't want you charging into spear units. Slingers, keep hitting that general for as long as you can.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Right, general just ate a javelin volley. That's unfortunate. Just go ahead and let the general rotate around to start chasing down some of these retreating units. Go after them first. Slingers, move over to here. Don't fire at will. You just don't need to anymore.
They will bleed for us. Axes!
We're looking fine over here. Alright, so our front line did take a little bit more damage than I would like, but it's nothing they can't handle. Try and make sure everyone has an attack order on a unit over here, just so we can try to wipe out as many of them as possible. Now, we really should be sending this unit out and around the flank, so let's start working on that. Generals start moving in this direction. Right, now we've smashed through their remaining blob, and then they've got a couple more of these guys returning from routing. Alright, well, I would say it's a pretty successful battle. Wasn't quite as clean as I would like, but it'll do. Just let the cavalry keep doing its thing. I'm really impressed at how long these spearmen are holding on. They're massively outnumbered and their entire army has been wiped out and they're still fighting. Alright, they finally routed. Oh, they actually didn't, just these guys shattered. Go ahead and continue. See if we can't chase down all of them with our cavalry. Alrighty, well, against a levy army from the Arverni, we actually took a lot more damage than I was expecting, so that has me actually somewhat concerned about the results we will have fighting their proper elite armies. But I think we can still pull out some good results. Either way, if we can isolate them, it shouldn't be much of an issue. And if they choose to isolate themselves, like they did on this occasion, it'll definitely be no problem to take them all down, one at a time. Some of our axemen racking up pretty huge amounts of kills for DEI. And again, the ambushers, 437. These guys do really, really well when they're not under missile fire. Another nice thing about this is it's just basically feeding us experience. And the more veterancy our warriors gain, obviously, the more capable they will be on the field of battle. Alright, well, unfortunately it looks like their general managed to escape along with a handful of levy clubmen. We will ransom the captives and chase down the army to finish it off. You declare war on me, and you will face my wrath. Of course, it's a total war game, so I'm going to declare war on you and take you out at some point anyway. But I think we will call that quits for today's episode. We've made some decent progress. We've got a third army moving across the channel to reinforce and help us have enough forces in the area to make some offensive pushes. We have a British ambush waiting for us, but we are trying to bait them into an attack as well. Things are looking up, but we definitely still have a fight ahead of us. As always, I hope you guys enjoy, and we'll see you in the next one.